Are you tired of clumpy and dried macaroni and cheese? Well, good, because so am I. So I'm going to show you how to make a macaroni and cheese for this year's Thanksgiving. I'm going to begin by melting 4 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to saute quarter piece of onion and 3 garlic cloves. Now we're going to add 3 tablespoons of flour, and we're going to add 3 cups of whole milk and 1 cup of heavy cream. We're going to season it up with whatever seasoning you like. I'm going to use Cajun because I want mine to have a little kick. For the cheeses, we're going to use Colby, I believe that's how you say it, mozzarella, and some sharp cheddar cheese. And for a secret ingredient, we're going to use a little bit of mustard or mustard powder, turmeric, something that's going to make our macaroni super yellow. And of course, 2 ounces of cream cheese because we want it to be nice and creamy. To use the elbow macaroni with the little lines in between because I like my sauce to go in between every crevices. Then I pop it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes until there's a nice crust form on top. All you have to do now is just garnish with a little bit of greenery, parsley, green onions, or chives, just to make it look a little extra cute. But there you have it, guys. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys a quick idea for tomorrow, especially if you're a teenager and you need a little help. This idea actually came from Josiah. He told me this is something that he wanted to do for Natalie, but like I said, sometimes Josiah is running around and he needs a little extra help. So he wanted to ask her if she wanted to be his Valentine with an elote. So I went ahead and bought some corn, boiled them up with a little bit of salt. In the meantime, I started to pulverize some hot Cheetos because he wanted them to have hot Cheetos. And we're also going to pulverize some queso cotija. And for those who don't know, this is what it looks like. You can either crumble it with your hands or you can just put it in the blender, the same one that you use to pulverize your hot Cheetos. So my cheese looks a little pink. Once my elotes were ready, I have no clue why they turned black like that, but I did cut it off. First step is going to be to spread some mayo all over those elote buns. Then you're going to put it into your queso cotija. Then you transfer it to your hot Cheetos and make sure everything is nice and coated also. Also, I did write a little too big, so I didn't have enough room for the question mark, so please picture a question mark there. This was the cool little idea that I made for Josiah for Natalie. Like this recipe, bye! I'm going to show you how I made the spinach salad and the cucumber salad for our Asian rice bowls. To a pot of boiling water, I'm going to add a pound of spinach and I'm just going to blanch it in there for like about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to squeeze any excess water and then put it in a bowl. For the dressing, I'm going to add all these ingredients I'm going to list in the captions, guys. Once I mix the dressing into the spinach, I give it a quick little mix and then I try it out. It was perfect. Thinly sliced some Persian cucumbers. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of salt. We're just going to mix everything together and we're going to let the salt take out the water of the cucumber. We're going to let that happen for about 30 minutes. In a bowl, I have green onions, sesame seeds, some ginger, garlic, soy sauce, sesame seed oil, I don't know if I mentioned fish sauce, some honey, and then some chili paste. Alright guys, all the ingredients are going to be listed on the caption. And we're going to quickly mix everything together, and then you're going to rinse the salt off the cucumbers. Add your cucumbers into the dressing, mix it again, and then you're going to put it in the fridge for about an hour. But there you have it, guys. This is how I made my spinach and cucumber salad. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let's pack today's lunchbox for my friends and followers. Today we're doing a little experimenting and we're making birria lasagna rolls. I know it sounds crazy, but we're gonna trust the process. We're gonna begin by cooking the birria, then we separate the beef and the broth. Since we're making a pasta dish, it needs a sauce, not a broth, or else we'll be making soup, right? For the filling, I'm gonna make another type of sauce using sour cream and chile de árbol. Now we just place all of our rolls to our baking dish, add some more of that birria sauce, more cheese, and then we pop them in the oven. Just enough so the cheese gets nice and melted, form a nice little crust, and have that cheese pool go around Mexico like about 3 times. I am going to let them rest for about 10 or 15 minutes before adding them to the box because we want them to keep their shape. I'm going to add 3 of the rolls, drizzle some more of that birria sauce, more cheese, pop it in the microwave for about 30 seconds just so the cheese can melt. Sprinkle them with a little bit of onion and cilantro. Then I made a basic salad just to cancel out all the cheese. Some extra toppings for some extra sauce. This time, no one had the option. Everybody's taking sodas. But that is it, guys. I'm just going to get everything ready for them, including their drinks so they can come and pick up during lunchtime. Bye! Let's pack today's lunchbox for my friends and followers. Today we're making them Birya Tamales with consomme for dipping. We're going to begin by making our birria. We're going to cut up some diezmillo, seasoned up our beef, hydrate our chiles, put all the spices we need to add, blend everything together, and then we cook the birria for hours. Once the meat is nice and tender, I use the grease to fry up our birria tacos whenever I'm making tacos. But in this case, we're going to use the grease for the masa in our tamales because you don't want to choke. And you mix the masa until you feel your shoulders about to fall off. Spread it all over your corn husk, add your birria, add your cheese. We're going to use Oaxaca and mozzarella. Then we roll them up, steam them for about 45 minutes to an hour. Once they're ready, the tamales are piping hot, but we're going to add them into the box. To go along with the tamales, they're going to get a side of consomme for dipping. Of course, all of the toppings necessary to hook up that consomme. They also had the option on the green chicken tamales drenched in a green sauce with some queso fresco, some sour cream, and a side of Mexican rice. For their drink, they had the option between a soda or an apple strawberry agua fresca. And they all chose the agua fresca. And that's it, guys. Let me show you guys a Valentine's Dinner Idea. This time, I'm not gonna say quick or inexpensive because it's neither. But I mean, nothing is cheap anymore, and at the end of the day, this dinner is gonna be worth it. I got some tenderloin steaks at Costco, and I'm gonna season them up with my favorite seasoning. I'm gonna put them in a freezer bag, add some butter, and then I sous vide them for about 3 hours at 130 degrees. This is a surf and turf dinner, so we have some lobster tails here that we're gonna spread open and then butter their buns up with some butter and some Cajun seasoning. Pop them in the air fryer at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes until the insides are nice and pink and the outside is nice and crispy. At this point, my steaks are ready, so I'm gonna take them out of the bag and then I'm gonna sear them in lots of butter and garlic. With the same pan that we used to sear our steaks, we're gonna use those drippings and we're gonna add some more butter, a little bit of agave nectar, some lemon juice, and basically we're gonna turn this into a lemon butter sauce. Add some Parmesan cheese, maybe a little bit of truffles in here, because it's Valentine's Day, we want to go all out. Right, guys, this is another breakfast idea for those hungry teenagers who don't want to go starving like Myron to school and they want to eat some breakfast. So we're going to breakfast prep today so you guys take something in your panza, okay? In a pan, you're going to cook all of your favorite breakfast meats. There's a lot of options, guys. But I only had bacon and sausage, and using the same fat, I'm going to cook my potatoes. Once they're cooked, I just add some eggs and then I cook my eggs. We're making mini pop-up breakfast burritos because, nobody wants to shove their face with a big pop-up burrito in the morning, right? I cannot tell you enough, you need to warm up your tortillas. Whenever I see someone making a burrito with a cold tortilla, I swear I cringe. Now, since we're meal prepping, I'm gonna add the cheese while I'm making the burrito. That way, when I warm it up, it is nice and melted. Close up the burrito, you're gonna fold the two middle ends. Then you close it up, but you're not just gonna continue rolling here. You're gonna grab the food, scoot it towards you because you want your burrito to be nice and tight and secure. And you wrap them in parchment paper, pop them in the freezer or in the fridge, and then you warm them up in the morning in the microwave or in the air fryer. Remember, you can put whatever you want in the burrito. It is yours. Let's pack today's lunchbox, my friends and followers. Here we're making them some Mexican-style chicken wings. Last time that I went to Disney at Plaza de la Familia, there was a little stand selling chicken wings, but instead of buffalo sauce, the wings had mole sauce. Yes, I know, you guys are probably tired of hearing mole this, mole that, but this is exactly the reason why I made that mole, is to replicate the wings that I saw at Disney. I'm gonna begin by seasoning up those wings, and don't be stingy with your seasonings, guys. We're also gonna add a little bit of cornstarch, make sure they get nice and crispy when we drop them into the fryer. For the mole sauce, you can either make yours from the cup, or you can follow the recipe that I have all over my social media. As soon as those wings come out nice and crispy, you're gonna add a couple tablespoons of that mole sauce, get them nice and coated, sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds, and garnish with some cilantro. We're gonna add a side of fries, some ketchup, and a little bit of more mole sauce in case you need to dip that wing in there. For the drink, they had the option between a soda or a regular schmegler agua de Jamaica, and they all got the agua de Jamaica. Is it, guys? I'm gonna get everything ready for this and come pick up the lunch. Bye! Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey.